Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk 7, episode 42, DJI Air 3S officially released. Marcus, how are you this evening?
Doing well, doing well. It's been kind of an exciting day.
It sure has.
A DJI drone arrived in the mail, Bill.
Oh, that would make it an exciting day. Definitely. Yeah. We're going to be joined in a little bit by Mr. Ron Brown and very special guest, Johnny Drone Buyer. No, Johnnie Alfonso. I'm sorry. You guys got me on that one. So.
Bill, can I let you in on a little secret about Johnny? If you promise me you won't tell anybody else.
I won't tell a soul.
Okay. So he immediately this morning, he put up an ad on the Fly for Fun show for his Air 3, and he's got it. It's a really good deal. He's got it advertised at $1,000. So here's what I did, Bill. I put a comment on there and I said, listen, I've got the exact same drone. I'll sell it for $950.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Tell anybody.
Don't tell Johnny.
You out there that are watching right now, don't tell Johnny, okay? You need to be quiet about this, all right? You just need to be ultra quiet about this. We're going to spend the whole show on the Air 3S, but I want to take a few minutes to talk about Milton and having back-to-back hurricanes and everything. And first of all, I had so many of you send me IMs and messages and emails, and we're concerned about Valerie and I and comments and everything. Thank you guys so much. I can't thank you guys enough for that. The drone community is the best. You guys rock. Absolutely, totally rock. And I want to tell you something, okay? When you get hit with 100-mile-an-hour winds, it's like nothing you've ever experienced before in your life, all right? We had, I'll call it the bang the drum. We have flaps on top of our roof vents, and they're designed in Florida. It's different from other houses. It's designed in Florida to prevent rain from coming in through those slats up there, okay? But what happens is with the wind, it sounds like a drum, and that's what you heard all night long. You didn't hear it in the rest of it. You only heard it when you were in the bathroom. So just to kind of clarify that. And then in the kitchen, of course, the vent that goes out through the kitchen as well too. There are still probably over 190,000 people without power. At its peak, there was over 600,000 in our county where we're at in Tampa. And one of those, unfortunately, is my mother-in-law. She still doesn't have power. So we're going to check tomorrow. If she doesn't have power, she's going to come back over and spend a couple of days with us till her power gets back on, which I really feel for her. She's 85. She's in great health and everything. But, she loves being at home, and she doesn't like being bounced around like a ping pong ball. So, and there he is. There he is, Marcus.
Yeah. Hey, all kidding aside, I'm not joking. If somebody's looking for a nice Air 3, Johnny's got one for sale. He takes good care of his stuff.
There you go. All right.
How's everybody tonight? Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm glad you're on. We had a blast this morning. And if you guys get a chance, watch the replay from this morning. It was fantastic. It was great. The chat was great. Everybody was just fantastic. Absolutely. Positively loved it.
It got really quiet for the first few minutes, though. There,
yeah.
It really did. And you guys were good on the chat this morning too. That was you guys were stellar, absolutely stellar. But also to finish up my brief little ditty about the hurricane here, it's quite an experience. And afterwards, there's a lot that you have to deal with that you don't really count on. Like we have a tree that's going to have to be fortunately destroyed. It's completely down. It's gone. We have one in back that they're probably going to have to take out as well. We suffered no damage. I did take my Mavic 3 Pro up to take a look, not only on top of our house, I'm going to put this clip together tomorrow. I looked on our house, and then I drove out to our main highway by us to take a look up and down the highway. And then I went up to the community. Now, as I went up and down the boulevard, tree debris, leaves, everything, the pool, everything. It was a mess but it was just, trees and shrubs and things like that. No real damage as far as things were concerned. So very fortunate all in all. But the real problem after all this was the traffic lights were out, and you're supposed to treat them as a four-way stop. Well, some people didn't do that, and it was very dicey driving. The other thing was we had lineups at gas stations because people didn't get gas like they were supposed to before the hurricane hit. So, like in the 1970s, people wrapped around the block. It was the same thing. Carbon copy 2024. It was just, and then the shelves at the grocery store, the aisles that didn't have anything, it was weird. Okay, the pop aisle and soda aisle gone. Okay, chips, pretzels, cookies, crackers gone, meat gone. But you walk down the frozen aisle, everything was in there. Everything. No problem in the frozen aisle. So go figure all that stuff. But their stores are starting to get replenished now. Gasoline is starting to finally get back. All the lights are on now. We know for pretty much down the road. Valerie's going to drive into work tomorrow. She's been working from home, so she's going to drive down to work tomorrow. So all in all, again, thank you guys all for your care and concern. What we're hearing weather-wise is also good news. Is our meteorologist says, the recipe mix in the Caribbean and in the Gulf isn't going to be there for the rest of the year. But, it's a balance of temperatures and wind and air pressure and things. It's just not going to be there to produce another
Hallelujah.
So we're just that's my Christmas present this year. I'll tell you that. So all right. With all that being said, okay. All right, go ahead, Marcus.
Well, I just was going to say, Bill, I have looked out on both Amazon and Best Buy, and it doesn't appear. What? It's unusual that we were able to buy it on the mothership direct from DJI, and like we were discussing this morning, often it doesn't show up immediately on Amazon, but within an hour or maybe two, it does. But it's just not there.
Yeah, because I know Ron was saying this morning, he said, well, you know what? I'm probably going to look this afternoon. Amazon will probably have it, and I'll order it from Amazon. And here we are. It's still not there. And I know I did the same thing. I looked on Amazon. But what was really funny, while I was looking for an Air 3S, you know what came popping up? There were some cases already ready for the Air 3S on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
Believe it or not. And I was kind of shocked by that.
Hey, I didn't check Adorama or any of the camera sites.
B&H doesn't have it. I checked it.
B&H doesn't have it. Adorama doesn't have it. So I mean, those are the big players. And,
right.
And it just and it's a real well. I think the mystery solved because it's being shipped from China. Okay, so they're not here. They're not here stateside. They're coming.
I know two of them is actually shipped already.
Yeah. Oh,
well,
yeah.
There's people in the chat that are saying the same thing, Johnny. So
good deal.
So the thing that I just thought of, I know Jerry is in the chat. I don't know if Lauren is in the chat or not, but I'm wondering. Lauren is associated with Drone Dynamics up there in Calgary. I wonder if they have it on the shelf. I wonder if the drone stores like that have it on the shelf.
Yeah, I'm real curious about that myself.
Yeah.
Because we're getting all the indications that we're getting is that it just was from the mothership only today. And it's a little on the unusual side, and I'm going to go back to, the Neo was kind of the same way, but the Action 5, Ron was saying it was like next 2 days he had it, like it was already here stateside. So.
This is coming from China. That's, you look at Johnny and I both, well, Bill, you did the same thing. If you look at your tracking, it's shipping from a warehouse in Shenzhen. So
Shenzhen, yeah.
And I see Jaybird is saying the same thing. It's all, they're all coming via DHL. Which I just got this via DHL and it's shipped from China. And by the way, just a word of warning, remember, DJI wants you to sign. So
you got to sign exactly.
On that delivery day, you either got to make arrangements or figure something out to sign it. Otherwise, you'll be waiting an extra day for your drone.
DHL is pretty. They toe the line with that kind of stuff. I mean, you got to sign for it. They don't do like and I know when it would be when FedEx try to deliver a DJI drone, had to sign for it. There was no, because I have a FedEx account and I tried to get on there and do that. No, that option isn't available. You got to.
Yeah, I actually got a text from DHL and I went on their site and put my order number in, and you can bypass the signature. So.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, this, like I said, this is a head scratcher in terms of, in terms of that.
Hey, look at Mario Napa's comment there. He said he got his from DHL today, and he didn't have to sign for it. Both Johnny and I got our Neos today, and DHL made us sign for them. So that's interesting.
Wow, that is very interesting. That is very interesting, because normally, well, I've had quite a few things lately delivered from DHL, and I've had to sign for everything. I mean, even smaller, $20, $40 items, I still had to sign for it. I mean, and it's, yeah, they're pretty strict about that.
I noticed that there was a link on DHL's website that you could click. Now, I did not click through it, but I think you can pre-sign. I believe. I'm not going to.
Yeah,
Johnny says you can.
Yeah. So if you want to try that option, go ahead and do that. I mean, I don't know. I would. Well, I'm going to be here anyway because I work from home all the time, so that's not really, that really is kind of inconsequential to me. But there were times when I was still working at work that I would adjust my schedule, that I would be home those days that I knew it was going to be delivered, so I would be here for it because I had to. I didn't have a choice. I had a roundabout years ago with the Spark when it was coming. Okay, FedEx tried dropping it off twice. The third time, if I didn't go grab it the third time, it was going to head back to the mothership. And I'm like,
wow.
No.
Chris
Okay.
Hope.
Go ahead.
I just want to say hi to Chris Hope.
Okay. One of the things that we had an opportunity to do today is look at some videos. And one of the things I just want to share with you now, what I did was on Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group, I went out there on my timeline, and I want to show you several of the videos I watched. I watched Aldrin's video today. I posted the actual specs for the Air 3S. I watched Russ's video today. I watched Rick Smith's video today. I watched Billy's video today, and I watched Sean's video today. All good videos. I'm going to give you my takeaways here. With Aldrin's video, he did a great comparison of the Air 3, the Air 3S, and the Mavic 3 Pro. He chopped his screen into thirds, and you got to see the footage from that. Okay, it was that was a big takeaway I got from that. With Russ, it was that new advanced return to home with the and I'm trying to remember. I got it written down here. Return to home without satellite positioning. Okay. It was amazing. He did it from the back of his bed of his pickup truck, okay? And it landed on the exact same spot.
A little corner of it, yeah.
Johnny, you saw that too. So that was a takeaway I got from Russ's, okay? With Billy, he was, or with Rick, it was a good unboxing. But one of the things he talked about in charging the batteries, you need to get what's called a PD charger. Here's Ron. Hey, Ron.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you tonight?
Doing well.
Yeah, power distributing charger.
Yes, a power delivery charger.
Delivery.
And it will. He says it will negotiate voltage and current.
Right.
So either and he recommended a 65 or 100 watt. And I have the 100 watt DJI charger. This is a 65 right here. I just bought a spare one. And by the way, as an FYI, I sold. Well, I don't want to say I sold it. But my son-in-law and several other people, I let them borrow that when they came over to, charge their phones up and everything at our house. They said they were going to buy the DJI 65 watt charger. I said it's amazing. It does a fantastic job. So they're going to go out there and buy. That's only
the charger that came with the Mavic 3, I believe, right, Bill?
Yeah, that's the one that came with the Mavic 3. And then, but Ron, I'm not sure. I think you did the same thing. When I bought the Air 3, I went ahead and bought that 100 watt charger, DJI charger.
If you remember correctly, Johnny was doing a live unboxing of the Air 3, and him and a whole bunch of other people, they couldn't get their Air 3s charged up because they were trying to charge up with something less than a 65 watt.
Right.
And I think Bob Casey said he was charging for days or whatever. And then Johnny found a 100 watt charger on Amazon. Now I found a different one. I found the Anchor. 100 watt charger for like $25, and I sold it. That's probably the most affiliated sale thing I've ever sold or whatever.
Yeah. So this is just a little Anker charger. I mean, I don't know if yours is the same one, Ron, but it does have those PD USB ports on there, and it is a 65 watt.
Mine's the one that looks like the MacBook Pro charger. It looks just like the MacBook Pro charger, but it has the PD, but it has the PD and a non-PD USB-C.
That's the one I have too, Bill.
Yeah. This is the 100-watt one from DJI. Yeah.
This Anker one's the same specs. It just costs less, and I probably has extra ports.
And Rick, that was from Rick. From Billy, one of the things he said is the 22-second mark. He said the Air 3S is better than the Mavic 3 Pro.
He said he said it's now replaced his Mavic 3 Pro. It says work and kind of pleasure drone
and personal use. Yes, he said that. And the other thing he said was, and Marcus and I were talking before the show a little bit about this. He said that he wasn't he was disappointed in the low light performance, and then he shows it. I mean, he's his own worst critic, okay? Because I'm going to tell you what, both Marcus and I said, I didn't see a thing wrong with that low light performance.
That's great that I saw.
I wondered about that too, yeah. And he got some comments on that too, yeah.
Yeah.
And Bill, to your point, I watched a bunch of other videos, and almost everybody had real good low light footage in their review videos.
So iPhone Doe did a really good little. If you want to watch, it's a short one. It's about 6 or 8 minutes long, and he just gushed about the
Marcus. How many times did he say it flies like butter?
He flies like butter. He said that so many times. But then I don't know if any of you guys did you watch Kelly Shores? Kelly Shores. No. And Chris did a really, really nice introductory video as well. And what I liked about what Kelly did is he covered the whole thing soup to nuts.
Okay. The other thing that I wanted, the other takeaway from Russ, he did a real good he did a real good test of the active track with his truck, and he used the manual and the auto. All right. Now, with Sean from Sean's, I'm gonna say the best balanced video, the ones that I saw today, was Sean from Air Photography. Okay, he kept it very well balanced.
There's no fluff in Sean's videos. He gets right to the point.
Yeah, he gets exactly, Ron. That's why I really like his videos. He gets right to the point. He did show if your return to home path is blocked, that how it goes around. That is just I'm so impressed with that.
He was on the bank of a river, and there was a big stump there, and he showed how it navigated his way around that stump to come back and land.
Yeah, that just blew me away. I saw that, and I'm like, okay.
To be fair, the Mavic 3 and your Air 3 will do the same thing, and your Mini 4 Pro will do the same thing. However, here's the difference: on the Air 3S, you've got LiDAR. And then the other thing, Bill, that you were referring to earlier, if you lost GPS, and so if you're flying in a city or something and you got behind a building and it blocked the satellites and it lost a GPS lock, it remembers its path. And so optically, just using the cameras and stuff, it can find its way back.
Now, Marcus, is that exclusive to the Air 3S that has never appeared on another?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I think what allowed them to do that is the LiDAR. I'm quite sure.
Yeah, I think Marcus is right on that score. And one of the other things that I got from Sean's video, while everybody knows that the batteries are the same, and he said the difference with the batteries is this: that feature where you can do the file transfer from the Air 3S to your phone. You have to use the new batteries in order to do that. Sean said that in his video.
Right, the one where the drone is in some kind of a sleep mode.
It goes in a sleep mode, yeah.
Right, because it's not really fully powered on when that happens.
So the other thing that I thought was interesting too, and I think it was Kelly that had this in his video. If you're plugging directly into your computer with a USB cable, you don't even need to have a battery in it. You don't need to have it on. You know how previously you had to have the drone on to transfer files? You don't even have to have it on, and you can transfer the files.
The USB-C provides enough power.
Evidently.
Yeah. And they also mentioned you can you could wirelessly, I guess, transfer stuff over to. And I don't know if the drone need to be on for the wireless transfer or not.
Hey, so Ron, give us your tech tidbit on that wireless transfer that you told me about the other day. I have never been very successful about that, but Ron gave me the answer.
Well, I think I have another device, and I don't know if it's a DJI device or I know of another device that you can connect it and not turn the device on, and you can transfer files just like it's a hard drive, but not have to turn the device on. I just can't remember what it is.
Well, Ron, you were telling me that if I never could get quick transfer to work.
Oh,
but Ron told me
anything anything like that from the app, the Fly app to the drone, any kind of transfer like that, you need to turn cellular data off on your iPhone. This could be different on Android. I'm just talking about iPhone. You have to go until the cellular data off, or the stuff will spin and never go. As soon as you turn cellular data off, all the transfers happen. So that's been like that for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
that's the trick.
Good to know, because I never knew it, and I
didn't figure it out. I got that from somebody else. The solution.
Yeah. Well, Ron, we were talking before you joined us, and apparently, Mothership is the only place that has it right now. Amazon, Best Buy, B&H, Adorama, nobody.
Bill, you want to? I'll give you some order information. So, once I gave up the Amazon or anybody else have it after lunch today, I went on DJI.com. The Mothership ordered it. It says being delivered in the 22nd. So even though I waited all those hours, it's still saying delivery in the 22nd.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Well, that was kind of funny because Lon kept posting in the chat this morning, like November 19th.
Well, that probably was saying that at the time, but probably, by the time I got on, whatever, all the queue had gone back to normal again, or whatever. They weren't getting hit by a zillion orders, and I went back into kind of a normal order queue and got.
So I'm going to make your point for you, Ron. I'll bet you what happens at a company like DJI is they had a ton of people put it in their shopping cart, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't hit and so like you said, they're making that queue based on that. Then all of a sudden they don't go through with the purchase, and
kind of cleans it up. Yeah.
Ron is able to.
So I'm right on queue. I right now don't look. I'm any different than if I would have ordered it 901 or whatever.
That's great news, Ron. That's great.
But still, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Probably not going to happen. But I've seen it happen before. Tomorrow that could pop up on Amazon or whatever with a quick delivery. So you could just always cancel if it does. I have that backup in case.
I would, what? At this point, I would just keep the one with the Mothership because for me, I'm
I learned that lesson, Bill. I learned that lesson.
Yep, and I'm going to tell you this, okay? Because I learned a lesson with Amazon over last week ordering my Garmin, and I shared that with you guys last night on Drone Nation. And I don't want to get into that situation again that they say it's in stock, it didn't ship, and all this. No. If it's coming from the Mothership and it's already been shipped, I'm obviously 100% good with that. I don't have any problem with that. So that's kind of how we're going to go. So one of the other things that I wanted to talk about, and Ron, I don't know if you saw it when you saw Billy's video. He said it was kind of 3/4 of the way through it. He was saying he had the beta version of the software. He didn't have the legit, fully baked DJI Fly app at that point in time. So some of the features and functions weren't available to him. So, it just, I feel for these guys because they want to put on a full-on review and they want to talk about the features, but yet it's not in the app.
Yeah, Bill, can we dig a little deeper into that? We'll call it the low light mode. Billy even said that the Air 3S did not have. The Air 3, among other drones, have a special dedicated night mode on them. And if I understood Billy correctly, he said that wasn't on this drone or whatever. And he said he hoped maybe it would be added firmware down the road because maybe there's something to do with the camera sensor, but why would you take away a night mode that's not only on the Air 3, but on the Mavic 3 series? And I believe, Marcus, doesn't the Mini 4 Pro have the night mode now?
It does, but here's the difference from the way Billy described it, Ron. He said, just like our phones, much of it is computational photography, and it doesn't even have an HDR mode. It is always in HDR. So,
well, that's not exactly true, because remember, with the 4K HDR, you're capped at 4K 60. But if you don't use the HDR, you can go all the way up to 120 frames per second. So some way in the settings there, you can not use HDR and you can get the higher frame rates. I don't know the particulars how you would do that, but he made it, and not only did Billy say that sort of a video, but that's also in the literature that you can only go in those higher frame rates if you're not in HDR.
Yeah, I was just going.
I don't know the nuts and bolts, Marcus, but I've seen that. I've heard that and seen that twice now.
Yeah. Hey, so Bill, I want to back up just a little bit when we were talking about shipping here, because I think this is kind of interesting to all of us. This drone is DJI is never the same. In other words, every one of these rollouts, they're all the same. And this one, we're ordering them. They're shipping direct from China. In the past, they've pre-positioned those drones in the U.S. and we get them in a couple of days. I just and of course we all know about all the business with the Neo. I would sure love to know what's going on in the background and why they're.
You remember this when the Mini 1 came out? It did that same procedure.
Right.
It shipped directly from China. You could see it leave Shenzhen, then eventually went to Alaska, then came down someplace in the U.S. like Kentucky for the East Coast, whatever. So DJI has done that before. They haven't done it recently, but that has been shipping procedure in the past.
Well, the other point that I want to make, Ron, is just like what you described. I think you were wise in this morning when you said, "Hey, I'm gonna wait and see if I can just order it from DJI, and you guys, I'll have it tomorrow." And in the past, you would have been spot on, right?
Yeah,
and several of the rollouts, you'd have been spot on. But, Bill, you did it with Best Buy one year. What drone was that? Yeah,
that was I think the Mini 2 or Mini 3.
Yeah.
I went on a Sunday, okay, because people said it was in, and I went there, and actually I talked to the store managers. I was picking something else up, and I asked him, "Can I pick this up because it's going to be released tomorrow?" He told me no, and he said the reason I can't sell it to you now is that DJI will put us on their blacklist, and this specific store won't be able to sell DJI product. He told me that face to face. I said, "I can pay for it now." He says, "I'm sorry." He said, "As much as I want to take your money from you now." I says, "You got to wait. You got to come back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And that's what I had to do. Yeah. I ended up going back I went to work late that day, and I stopped at Best Buy and picked it up that morning.
Well, I got a Best Buy update for you. A gentleman watched our show this morning. I forget his screen name, but he said he went into I don't think the gentleman's from the U.S. I didn't know Best Buy was international, but he actually went to his Best Buy in whatever country he lives in and bought the drone today, and already was going to fly it this afternoon.
Oh, really?
So Best Buy has it, just not Best Buy USA.
I know there are Best Buys in Canada. Okay,
yeah, he could have been in Europe. Canada because he, so again, Best Buy Canada had it. Only Best Buy US doesn't have it.
So, Ron, what you're telling me is if I had driven up to Calgary and kind of hung out with our friend Lauren, I could have stopped by Drone Dynamics probably and picked one up.
Probably a good chance. Could have. Now, I did check with Lon and his contact at DroneWorks. They don't have it, and he doesn't know exactly when he's going to get in. So apparently, the same thing kind of happened with the Neo. Apparently, the U.S. is being held back a little bit on product availability, even though outside of them themselves, DJI, it's
Captain Joe went and picked up a Neo at Target this morning. So yeah.
Somebody was talking about that last night. That Target had it. So yeah, I mean, more than a month after it came out. So yeah, something's going on. And here we go. Gary Bauer said they had 2 in stock in Canada at the Best Buy. It's Gary Bauer that left the comment.
Yeah,
so he got his there. So Best Buy has them, but not Best Buy USA.
Well,
That's wild, isn't it? That's crazy. Yeah.
So again, I'm still not 100% convinced that some place like Best Buy or Amazon or Adorama or something, I'm out of nowhere, just the next day or two or whatever, all of a sudden they could possibly have them or whatever.
Yes, now I would have said no, but not now. You're right. It could pop up on Amazon tomorrow, and you could have it Saturday or Friday.
Yeah,
But I want to go back to who I don't know if it's Bill, Marcus, Johnny's original point is, even though we complained about not being able to get in Best Buy, I like the fact that DJI went back to a normal kind of release here. That okay, they showed the drone. They you could order today. And you could get in a week. I mean, a week is a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, sure, we'd love to have the next day or whatever, but that's a reasonable schedule, kind of like Apple does with the iPhones.
Right.
They show the drone like on Tuesday. You can order it on Friday, and it comes the next Friday. Just as long as I have an understanding, an expectation of what's going to happen, I just don't like a pre-order. Oh, yeah, you'll get it when you get it or whatever. That's to me, that's a sloppy release.
Yeah, when and I'll go back and I hate to say it, I'll go back to the Peonies and to the Hubsons. Okay, you're gonna spend your money and you might wait 30, 40, 50 days before you get your drone. All right, and you got to pay for it 100% up in front and that. And
well, remember that was the Neo release for us.
Yeah,
that was the Neo release for us. Yeah,
that's why, like an idiot, I got mad and I canceled my. I ordered it off of Amazon, but
ordering Neo was like trying to get a Phoebe or Hubson drone.
Yeah. It was just like that. Now, one of the other things I wanted to bring up today before I forget was I specifically noticed, like in Billy's video and also in Russ's video, they tested the speed on it. All right, because they really touted the 60 miles an hour. I know Russ had a really hard time getting it up to speed because he
got to 53, I believe.
He tried it a second time, got it up to 57. Billy did get it over 60. I did see that.
Yeah, but it's been real windy around here lately, so Billy probably caught a nice tailwind.
Yeah, so you're going to have to, in order to do that, you're going to have to get that. Now, one of the things, and I'll tell you what, I love Russ, okay? And one of the things he said, you know what, I'm not doing a range test. He says, I don't know why you all go so nuts over doing a stinking range test. He said, we fly by line of sight, and when it's out of sight, you can't fly it, okay? He said, that's the way it is, all right? And I respect him for that. And he says, people go nuts over that. He says, they want me to do a range test. He said, I'm not going to do a range test. All right. And Russ, if you're listening, kudos to you. I really like that today.
When you do a drone review, the number 2 comments is, please do a range test. Please do low light test.
Oh, yeah.
They're the 2 top things that everybody wants to see. There's the range, and sometimes it's all in the same test. Do the range test in low light.
Well, what's really interesting is when I get comments from viewers from overseas. All right, and I call it a high altitude test. All right, and what I want, and the whole purpose I do these high altitude tests. All right, it's one purpose, to show people what it looks like from 400 feet versus 100 feet. All right. It's completely different. All right. And people think, there's something special about 400, going up high. No, there isn't anything special. Okay. You can see a wider swath of things, but you don't see the detail.
Yeah, nobody wants to see a drone video that looks like you're flying in an airplane.
Yeah,
exactly. No, and, and all these ones that say, why don't you go up, 150 meters or 200 meters, which is like 600, 800 feet. I'm like, okay, you know what? And you know what I do when I do those altitude test videos? I put a pinned comment in there. I said, I live in the United States of America. This is what the FAA says. Boom. And I put a link in there. Okay. And I said, if you have any questions, email the FAA. Don't email Bill the drone reviewer. All right. Because, that's the way it is. And I'm going to keep doing these tests. I'm always going to keep doing these tests. That's the way it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
One of the other things I was telling the guys before you joined, I thought when I searched for Air 3S on Amazon, I found several cases that are out there for the Air 3S.
Yeah, Star RC is a case, but guess what? I bet you once I get in, I'll test my current Star RC cases. It should fit. I mean, well, unless that gimbal's really, and Johnny, even the gimbal wouldn't fit in there, or the camera.
I think it would be
a little knife could just cut that out, that it would fit.
Yeah, I would think it's pretty deep already, so I would think.
Yeah. Hey,
there's a good
Bill, I want to go back to Marcus brought up iPhoto, and I'm sure other people mentioned, but he put it out there that you couldn't miss it. And this relates back to the Action 5 Pro with the bitrate scandal. The bitrate on the Air 3S is 130, and that's down from 150 on the Air 3. So DJI continues to lower bit rates on their newer devices or whatever, and it's kind of a mini controversy out there. But I mean, I don't see any issues on the Action 5 Pro that other people claim they have. I mean, I know the one video the guy put on a home built FPV drone was flying like crazy. I mean, you could probably replicate anything if you tried hard enough, but in any normal shooting circumstance with the Action 5 Pro, I'm not seeing any bit rate problems. And I think the bit rate on that is 100. I think the Action 4 was 130 and the Action 5 is 100. So that was
it was Jake Sloan that put up that video you're talking about.
Again, I'm not saying what he did wasn't right, but I mean, I'm never going to fly like he flew in that video, whatever, a home built FPV drone ripping as fast as it can. So anyhow, I just wanted to bring that up. And before somebody comes up with a bitrate controversy, is right in the side of the box. DJI's not hiding anything here. They advertise that the bitrate is 130, not 150, like the former drone. So,
well, also too, we did get as Johnny reported this morning, the Fly app did get the update. So I mean that's already been taken care of.
Yeah, the updates. Yeah.
Now, when you did the update, Johnny, did it mention any new features in the update? Why I'm asking is, I wonder if any of those features would carry over to our current Air 3.
I did not read the comments. No, we were on, and I was doing it right then. And
yeah, understood.
Plus, I was hitting the buy button. So, and Marcus, you said the same thing. My credit card kind of gave me, I actually got a fraud alert from my bank about an hour later. And I said, yes, I did make that purchase, which I know I have it turned on, but I don't know why I've got it.
Mine's with Citibank, and it's weird. They said usually, they'll send you a text that you can say, okay.
Right.
They made me do a phone call, which was
well, they actually called me about an hour later. And
who called you, Johnny?
The bank, my bank.
Oh, bank. I did with PayPal, nothing without a hitch. I hit pay with PayPal, hit the OK button, boom, it went through. I got the receipt from PayPal, so I had no I didn't have to do confirmation of any kind.
Well, that's what I did.
I had no issues. I used Affirm because I have a low interest rate with them, and I had zero issues. Now, before, I've had instances where DJI makes you go through second or two or three additional steps in order to go ahead and process that. Now, I'm going to go way back. We're going to take a little trip down the Wayback Machine back to 2018 with the Mavic 2. All right. And picture this. Okay. Up front, and I'm going to give you a little image here. All right. Billy and Ken and Rick Smith, everybody, they're on their phones up front in the front row. Well, the guy's going through his narration up front. They're all ordering, okay, on their phones while we're sitting there. And I said, you know what? And I told Valerie here, because Wi-Fi was really sketchy there in that building. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to wait till we get back to the hotel room this afternoon and order it from there. All right. So I go up to the room, I go and I order it, and I'm paying, I have my counts all ready. All right. Well, it just sat there and spun and spun and spun. It did it like 3 or 4 times, and I finally called DJI up, and they said their servers are overloaded. Be patient, give us a call back. And I did, and it got rejected, and my bank rejected it. I called the bank up, and I said, I got funds there. What's going on? There was Oh, it took me almost 2.5 hours to get that ordered. I mean, it was just
Never do anything important in hotel Wi-Fi. Real quick, put Mike Wright's comment up in the chat as most recent one.
So what I'll say real quick while we're doing that.
Yeah.
Mark White just sent me a message. It's available on Amazon in the UK.
Right.
So.
And you saw Mike Wright. He said he checked several Canadian Best Buy stores. The Air 3S combo is available for pickup.
Too much information, Ted.
Yeah, this is just, the whole thing this time around. One of the things I want to say was I went, early on back in 2017, back in 2018. I put together, it was 2019, I put together a spreadsheet of DJI releases up until that point in time. It's including consumer drones only, and I included the Inspires in there as well. And I looked, and, part of my job, that I, over the years in quality assurance testing is you look for patterns and you look for things that are out of order and sequences and things like that, all right? One of the things I could tell right away, and this is even back in 2019, 2018, there was no rhyme or reason with DJI. I looked at, days between releases. I looked at, the type of drone that was being released. I looked at the cost amount of the drone that was being released. All right. And, none of these things made any sense. It was just, now this was back before. At that point in time, the only place you could get them from at a certain point was the mothership, all right? Then they finally started filtering out to some of these so-called, storefronts, all right? And it wasn't until much later that it became available on Amazon, because I remember, it was like even in 2018, the only place I knew I could get it from right away was the mothership, all right? Well, we fast forward to today, and we expect to be able to order it from Amazon or Best Buy or Adorama or B&H, and then they're all the wells run dry here. And, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And there's no really rhyme or reason. We've been watching a lot of the old Sherlock Holmes with Basil Rathbone. Okay. Sherlock Holmes is a master of deductive reasoning. Okay. Well, you can throw deductive reasoning out the window here because there is none. It doesn't make any sense. Why this?
Bill, going back to 2018 era, you had the option. You could go in your local Best Buy store, and they had a great drone counter. They had the latest DJI drones up there. They had several other brands of drones up there. You could go in Best Buy and see a nice selection of drones, and that doesn't really exist anymore.
Mm.
You could see what was it? The unique drones. You could see Alltel drones. You could see many different brands of drones at the drone counter Best Buy, and that's all gone now. And even if you thought DJI drone may still be there, but you don't know, may not have the current ones. It's
you might see a Spark. You might see a Spark.
You might see still this Spark there, and they may still have the original price sticker on it.
Yeah. Who knows?
The Paradenofi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the GoPro drone. The GoPro drone can still be sitting there.
Yeah.
The Karma.
Remember that used to have its own special section? The Karma, you walked in, it was right up front. It was before the DJI drones. They had the biggest display on them all.
Yeah.
Well, and Brad brings up a point, because I thought last night Jasper Allen put something in there that he was going to have something today, and he didn't. Now, Brad Henderson just said, Jasper Allen said today he has new exciting leaks to share for tomorrow. So he probably didn't get those leaks for today. I was expecting to see something on the Mavic 4 today, because I've had a lot of people pinging me any news about the Mavic 4 today, and I said no, I haven't heard anything. Stay tuned. We'll find out. We'll wait for Jasper for tomorrow. I mean, that is just who knows? I mean, this is just a topsy-turvy season. Now, Ron brought up a great point, and I think it was today. This is really truly the first consumer drone release we've had this year. All right. Because
pure camera drone.
Pure camera drone. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Not FPV, You know, the Mini 4K really it was just a rebranding.
Right,
You know,
right. The Avata 2 was an mostly, it had good camera, but mostly an FPV drone, and then the a selfie drone came out last month. But for diehard, dyed-in-the-wool camera guys, you know, people who grew up on the Phantoms and the Mavic, you know, the Mavic Pro and the Mavic 2 Pro, whatever. We're waiting for a real camera drone. And this is our first, to me, this is the first my real drone release of the year.
Yeah. It's weird.
It has a camera that, according to Billy, tops any camera I have now on my drones.
So Ted is asking about a Mini. So, you know, to everything that we've heard, there is no Mini coming this year.
Jasper said there is no Mini 5.
But DJI could surprise us. You remember from the Mini 3 Pro to the Mini 4 Pro? Nobody was expecting that.
Not
you
even
never
that.
know. I'm just saying anything could happen. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, it could have happened easily.
Right, but I wouldn't hold back on the Air 3S waiting for a Mini 5 this year.
Well, you know, I'll go with Lauren's statement. The Mini 5 is on the same line as being built as the Phantom 5 right now. So, I mean, that's just, you know, there's nothing there. There's nothing to it. So don't, you know, if you hear anything about it, it's disregard it, because Jasper hasn't said anything about it. Igor hasn't said anything about it. And Ositalev hasn't said
Bill,
anything.
you know when you should believe the Mini 5? When it's on the FCC database.
Exactly. Okay. When it comes out on the FCC database, that's when you start to get excited.
It's real.
Well, you know, and I think Jasper's probably going to have some more on the Mavic 4. So kind of stay tuned for that. We don't know. You know, they're talking about, you know, I think Drone DJ did an article on the batteries and what the battery life. And it was two different FCC releases, and one is probably for a Pro and one is probably for a Cine, is what they're saying.
Weren't they talking about an over 60-minute flight time, Bill?
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. Well, you know, you look at the fuselage and the body of the Mavic 4, it's physically bigger than the Mavic 3. And obviously, you know, that battery is going to be bigger as well. So that's going to really, you know, it's kind of like stay tuned for that. That's going to be very interesting to see. But, you know, with that bigger body and that bigger battery, you know, that's more weight. And how that all plays out aerodynamically, you know, we'll see. I don't know. I don't
yeah, right.
know
you know, if it's going to try to get the same speed that the Air 3S has or whatever, hope that big battery doesn't slow it down.
Yeah. So we'll find out. But I mean, you know, it was an interesting release. Well, you know, I want to go back to something else about all this. And we were talking, and this is before they talked about the Air 3S. You know, we were talking about an Air 4, okay? Not an Air 3S. You know, we're talking about an Air 4. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. The early rumors were an Air 4.
Yeah, and then they went to an Air 3S, which, you know, if everything's the same except for probably the camera, it really didn't cost DJI a whole lot of money to switch over from building an Air 3 to an Air 3S. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same body, yeah.
It's the same body.
The motors, the propellers, a lot of the guts are the same. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the components are the same. Yeah. Go ahead, Marcus.
Say the same airframe, but I'll tell you, even all the obstacle avoidance sensors are different. I wouldn't say it's the same motors, Ron.
LiDAR on the front, yeah.
They may be, but I don't know.
I don't know that. I'm just saying.
But I just think I think the outside looks the same. I think everything in the inside is different. Yeah.
No, I think you're right.
It truly could be a Air 4 then, Marcus.
Yeah.
If everything is different outside of a vague resemblance.
And the Air 4 would depend on what the Mavic 4. I mean, you know, there's got to be something there in between. So,
yeah.
Well, you know, one of the things that I've always had a big question on, and I know we've talked about this before, and Rick Smith brought it up in his video too. And, you know, he talked about how the batteries charge. And, you know, Rick's an engineer by trade. So, you know, this electrical engineer by trade. So, you know, he knows what he's talking about. And, you know, and he talked about how, you know, the battery with the least amount that needed to be charged is one gets charged first. And DJI did, had some, their thought behind that was, you can get out faster, if the battery that needs the least amount of charge is charged first, et cetera. Okay. Well, that really kind of sparked in my head. And I know there has always been talk about not a sequential charger, but, one that charges all of them at once. Now, there are some aftermarket ones, and I've tested those. I tested one for the Mavic 3, and it works really well. All right. And I'm going to be, look at Christmas time, guys. If you want that, I'm giving them away at Christmas. So stay tuned for that. They also had one for the Air 3, and I tested that, and that worked. But the one with the Air 3 is kind of different because it requires more than one charger to be plugged into it. So that kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah,
of all
I had that one also. That is kind of an odd setup.
Yeah, it was an odd setup, but I was able to get my batteries charged. That's for my Specta. Okay, when I wanted to charge the batteries, I brought that out because Specta sent me 2 additional batteries for the Specta Air, and I used that charger and it worked like a champ. But I had to use 2 chargers with it. I mean, that's the way that was.
Hey, Bill, before we have to wrap up here, is there anything that the leakers got wrong on the Air 3S, or maybe they left out something important that we saw today? Was there anything
other than maybe the beacon, Ron?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there were, they never promised that the beacon would be available day one.
No, but we saw leaks, though, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. But I mean,
that's what's dropping tomorrow.
Yeah. I guess, I guess it's not coming to, if it was coming tomorrow, they released it. So I'm guessing the beacon's at least a month off or whatever if they didn't put it out today. But my point is, it looks like they got things pretty spot on again, on the leaks.
I think so too. Look, the price, they were like spot on the price.
And the price is the hardest thing for them to get right because of all the currency conversions all over the world.
Yeah, and it is, and they did a stellar job. Whoever zoned in on that and got that was fantastic.
I think Jasper really firmed those prices up over the weekend. Yeah,
the specifications were there. I mean, there were no bad surprises today. All right.
Nobody talked about the bit rate not being as fast as the Mavic 3, but
yeah. Other than that, I mean, there really weren't a whole lot of things that stood out that were earth-shattering surprises that we didn't know about today.
I'm going to respond to Jaybird there. He said, I'm still shocked that it's still 04 and not 04 plus, etc. Well, was it the Air Photography? He made the point that they may not be calling it Air 4 plus, but now directional, holding the antennas towards the drone is not as important as it used to be. This has an omnidirectional type of thing. So in other words, you could be not facing the drone with a controller and you're still going to get good performance with this. So they did increase the I won't necessarily say the range, but the connection by not making it as directional.
I tell you, for a guy like me, that's huge, Ron. Because
me too. I'm one of those people. I may fly the drone, all around.
I forget to turn around. Yeah.
I don't want to be. I'm not on a pogo stick to turn constantly the drone does. So I like that feature a lot, Marcus.
Yeah. Me too. Same thing.
Mark White saying the beacon is going to be sending out a signal, so it's going to need FCC listing. Yes, that's a good thing, right, Mark, to keep an eye on the.
That was a good point, database. Mark. Thank you for bringing that up. So until we see that, it's not. It's really kind of, even though we've seen pictures of it, it's still not there yet because
And Lon's saying the new drone has 6 antennas, so even with the same OcuSync extra.
Oh God, thank goodness! I saw ants there, and I thought he meant like fire ants or something.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, can I make a big announcement? Lon's here. I booked a big name guest to come on Drone Nation, not this Monday, but the following Monday. In other words, the week after the drone hits the U.S., we got Lon Denard coming on as a big guest here. Not this week, but next week. So, folks, you want to book your tickets early to that Drone Nation. That's going to be a show that night, Marcus.
Get your popcorn. and your Cokes and your Pepsis and get ready for Drone
He's
Nation.
going to dissect the new Air 3S down to the smallest bolt.
Wow. Ron, you must went all out on that.
I had to talk to his agent on this one.
But Ron, is he going to be nice as he does it?
Oh well, I couldn't pay for nice, Johnny. We never enough in the budget.
One of his demands was, though, in the green room we could only have blue M&Ms. He doesn't want any other color.
Oh, he's like a rock star back there.
Just blue M&Ms. Yeah.
See, there you go. You know,
and of course we'll have the bang bang shrimp in there.
Yeah.
You have a rock star on like Lon. You know, you gotta get out the spread, and you gotta. I don't know how you coerced his agent into doing it, Ron. You did. You are a miracle worker. That is just bar none.
It's that Philly connection.
Oh, yeah. And Lon says Sarah's got to serve him up.
I'll run that by her, Lon. We'll see what she says.
Hey, Lon, she's got to be wearing a Johnny Drone Flyer T-shirt as he serves too.
She would do that. She would do that in a second. Yeah, she loves her Johnny.
Hey guys, can we spend a few seconds? Listen. I gotta say, I got this around lunchtime, and I'll tell you what. I admit when I was wrong. This thing is a blast.
How many flights you got in, Johnny?
I don't know, a bunch. I'll tell you what, I done charged the batteries probably 5 times a piece.
Oh,
but
boy.
My son-in-law and I flew it a while ago. I did a little, Laney was on a golf cart. I'll tell you what, and guys, just fly this for fun and don't worry so much about the camera. And, it's just, I'm not saying, the camera looks good. It's fun. I flew it in Acro. I flew it with the Motion 3. I flew it with the RC2. I flew it with the FPV controller. So, yeah, it's a great little drone. I can tell you.
You put the full review in one day, Johnny.
Well, here I want to pile on Johnny's point that he's making. People are really ragging on the camera on this thing. That is not what it's. As my friend Ron Brown says, it's good enough. They put a camera. I mean, it's a toy. It is. I would literally call this a toy drone. Wouldn't you guys? I mean, am I describing it?
Did you see Ken Dona's already made a mount for it and put the little Insta360
go-to. I could put my go-to on it, Ron.
I'll tell you what it's good for. If you want to learn FPV, you can learn on this. I can tell you that.
Did you flip manual already, Johnny?
Huh?
Did you flip in the manual already?
I did, yeah. We had a manual a while ago. Matt, my son-in-law, was doing. Now listen, it's not.
So Lon's in the chat.
Hey, sir.
So Lon just said that if he's coming on Drone Nation and in the green room, we promised him that we'd give him some bang bang shrimp and blue M&Ms, but his requirement was that Sarah has to serve him. I don't know. I'll let you answer, Lon. She's not going to do it. I'm embarrassed.
The show's canceled now.
Yeah. Sorry, we just lost Lon as a guest.
Oh,
we'll get Billy Kyle instead now.
Hey, but show me your shirt. You got your Boise State shirt on.
Oh, Boise State.
Okay.
But you have to wear a Johnny Drone Flyer.
You won't come back in.
Wear a Johnny Drone Flyer shirt.
She's never gonna pop on camera again now.
That's it. That's it. You shouldn't.
I think I really embarrassed her.
One thing I do enjoy about this, I will tell you. You know what? Not having to worry about an SD card is a lot of fun. I can tell you.
Oh,
you won't have to worry about an SD card in the air.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something else that hey, you got your video and hey, you go through it and delete it a little bit, but hey, it's fun. It's fun.
Johnny, I shot for a week with the Action 5 Pro before I actually had to go over to the memory card from the internal memory.
Right.
I shot a week's worth of video on the internal.
Hey, that's a plus,
And I shoot all 4K.
There you go.
The Neo's a great drone.
Johnny,
we got DJI on the line there, Bill calling. I heard phone. Was that Frank Wayne calling in?
Yeah,
that was Frank calling in. He's calling. Johnny, thanks for bringing that up about the Neo, and I think that was a good point. And I think we'll kind of wrap things up with that. But I wanted to briefly mention what you said. Look at it. It's a fun drone, and that's what you have to look at that drone as. Okay, you don't look at it like even an Avata 2. You don't look at it like a mini drone. Okay. it's a completely different kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Have some fun with it. Okay. My gosh. Okay. Just after having undergone everything we did, I'm seriously thinking about pulling the trigger and getting one just to go out there and have some fun. Maybe I can coerce my better half to go out there and try it as well.
It's so easy. Is the cool thing about it is you don't even have to use a controller if you don't want to, and it lands in your hand, takes off from your hand. Johnny's got grandkids. I just noticed, Johnny, it says 16 or older on the back, but that's a bunch of baloney. I would have no problem, handing this to a little kid because they're not.
Laney, she I showed her how to do the selfie, and she did it about 10 minutes later by herself without even hardly asking me.
Bill, you better order the Neo now. You may have it by Christmas.
Nah, you go pick one up. Target has them. I think Best Buy's got them.
Well, let's go around the room here and wrap things up, guys.
Okay. Are we going clockwise? I'm sorry, Ron.
I didn't have anything good.
Okay. All I'm going to say is, listen, it's been an exciting day today. It's been fun. We all had a lot of anticipation for this Air 3S. I think it's every bit that was promised to us and more. And the other comment I'll make is when we did that show this morning, it just seemed like everybody was buying it. People in the chat, they were all saying, "Oh yeah, I hit it." All four of us in this panel right now hit that buy button. It's I think it's another one of those. It's just a home run. The other comment I'll make is on this little Neo. This is just for $300 or $200 if you just buy the single battery version. I just don't know why. It's like Johnny said, it's a barrel of fun. So
it really is.
Have fun with that. Thirdly, I was out today. Man, we are in peak color season in the autumn. The trees are all changing color. Now's when you want to get out there. You may not have your Air 3S out there. Take your Air 3 out there and get some video of the trees changing color and so forth. And it's, the climate, it's mild right now. It's just a good time to be out flying. And Mr. Johnny Drone Flyer.
I want to thank you for having me on. I had a great day and a lot of fun this morning. That drone release kind of went, I don't know. We said everything from it might be delayed to it might not, but I think DJI is kind of back on plan. I'm not so sure, if the band was kind of in the midst of this, not, but there was a lot going on and, no remote ID. So I don't know if that had something to do with all this, some kind of shipping stuff, but I think the release today was spot on. And hey, we'll have our drone in Marcus, probably at less than a week now. So,
right.
The 22nd is next Tuesday, I believe.
Yep.
Well, the day after that's why I didn't have line on until next week because I didn't want to get line on the day before we all got our drones or whatever. But I'll say that, Bill, this was the most important drone release of the year. I don't want to pre-review anything because I don't actually drone myself, but it looks like everything I need in a drone at a price I can afford. So if you only buy one drone this year, buy the Air 3S. Wait for my full review. Bill?
Well, I'm first of all, Jaden down there, before I fly a drone, do I have to register? Jaden, depends. If you're in the United States and it's under 249 grams, no. If it's over 249 grams, yes, you do.
Yeah, the Air 3S, you will definitely have to register, Bill.
Exactly.
Right.
In the U.S.
Right.
In the U.S.
Okay. So it depends. If you live in Canada, Jaden, you would need to follow what the rules and regs are up in Canada.
A comment down. He is in the U.S.
USA. Yeah.
Okay, Jaden. All right, you're in the USA. So if it's under 249, no. It's over 249, yes. And it's out on the FAA website. I should have links in my description. If there isn't, I'm going to go ahead and drop one in after the show for you so you can go ahead and follow that. And it's real easy to do that. But you got to go out to the FAA's website, and what I'll do, we'll do that.
Make sure you go to the right FAA, the drone zone. Not that it's $5. Don't pay over $5.
Yeah. Don't go to one of those outfits that says we'll register your drone and wants to charge you $20.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I'll get that drone zone out there information for you. And if somebody wants to drop it in the chat right now as I finish up, go ahead and do that.
Those other sites are going to send you a custom made label, though. I think with your number.
You can get it free too. So
ooh,
that's what you pay the extra $25 for.
Well, number one. I want to thank Ron and Marcus for having me on last night and also this morning. It was these releases are fun, and you know what? And that's what we're here to do. Okay, there's so much that has gone on lately, that has been stressful and just not fun. This is a fun thing, and it's a good time to enjoy it. The Neo, that's a fun thing, and I'm probably going to go ahead and pull the trigger on that because life's too short. You want to have fun. You want to enjoy yourself. And, why not? Okay. These guys have got me over the top because I'm probably going to do it. After.
Johnny, where was your drone?
The Neo, not the drone.
I threw the box away. No.
So, go out there, enjoy what you have. Like Marcus said, it's an ideal time. Tomorrow we're going to have 60-degree weather when we wake up. We haven't had that.
You want the same color in the trees that Marcus has.
Yeah, we won't be having those colors down here, which is I really miss that from up north.
Your trees are lucky if they have any leaves still on them, Bill.
A lot of the trees are unfortunately gone.
Bob Dempsey is asking, yes, I flew it with my Goggles 3. I flew it with the FPV6. I flew it with the RC2. I flew it with the Motion 3 controller. So I put it through the test today.
No, you did more in one day than I've done it in the week I've had it.
Hey, no grass to cut. It was a good day. It was a beautiful day, so I did a lot of flying.
You know what Johnny is? Johnny is a man of action, and that's the truth. I'm not joking. He's a man
Johnny,
of action.
And Johnny's review video is coming out in just 24 hours.
I just put a little shot up of the golf cart. I don't, I'll leave the review to you guys, but no, it's fun. Enjoy that Neo. It's to think of the technology that's in this thing, it's just amazing. I mean, it really is.
More technology than the Air 3S.
There you go, guys.
No.
That's the final word for tonight.
You can fly it more ways than you can the Air 3S.
Thank you, guys.
It actually flies pretty good with the phone. I was surprised.
Bill, just give up. Bill, give up, Bill. We're not going to let you shut it down.
we're going for another hour, Bill.
We'll go for a marathon here. Okay.
Yeah.
Good night, folks. I won't say another word.
All right, guys. Thank you all for a great chat tonight. You guys were great. Thank you so much. As always, guys, it's a great day to fly. Take care. Have a great evening.